Okay, now you've listed some things that you want to change. You've looked at your environment, where you work, your appearance, all these things. Okay, you've starting to list the different triggers. You're getting a grasp on it now. But remember, this is crafty stuff. Habits are well wired, right? You've been doing it a long time. And so there are signs that we need to look for, and I call these relapse warning signs. And the secret to any habit change is to know when you're being tempted either to participate in the habit that we're trying to change or to renege on the one, when we're attempting to start. You won't find clues on a billboard, right, in blazing color tell us that you're in danger of relapse. There'll be no mystical phone call saying, be careful, you're about to sabotage. No. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to become aware of the things that lead to relapse of an old habit or a failure in starting a new one. However, besides monitoring your cravings, you can monitor your attitudes and behaviors before they start you down the wrong road. That is a lot of times what starts us to trigger. So things that lead to bad ending. Let's look at these things, and each one of them have this, 1 through 5. And so if you go to page 13, you can see the first one, okay? Hang around people, places, and things that tempt me. Now, we've kind of talked about that, right, in changing your environment. But this is being a little more specific here. It's serious. You'd be amazed how many people try to start a new habit or stop a serious one, think they can do the same old things they did before, go to the same places, hang around the same people. We fool ourselves over and over again. Triggers are real. And until you are seasoned in your new behavior, it's best to stay away from that. So how are you on that? You never do it, number 1, sometimes 3, occasionally 4 often, or 5 constantly. Be honest here. Be honest. Don't put down what you think I want you to say. Put down what's the truth, because we can change these things. But if we don't admit it, we won't change, right? We won't change. And so we need to really look at that. Let's look at the next one on 14, page 14. I beat myself up over a slip. Yes, you may have slipped, but this is a new day. Degrading yourself serves no purpose other than to subconsciously give you an excuse to slip again. Get over it. Your goal is still worthwhile and within sight. What you can do is spend some time considering what went wrong. Remember the inventor? Wonder why that didn't work. They're excited about it. They just discovered one way it doesn't work. Now we can try another way that will work. Remember Thomas Edison, right? 1,000 different filaments they tried. But they finally got the right one. You need to, if it indicates a weakness in the way you're doing things, you can correct it. If you're at a place where slipping has become the norm, consider getting help. That's a good step in the right direction. And so ask yourself, do I beat myself up over a slip instead of doing something about it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about dwelling on how good it used to be? Remember we talked about that? When we dwell on how good it used to be, we call that euphoric recall. And then sometimes we say how bad it's happening now. And we call that awfulizing sobriety. Both are the same thing. It's an old mind trick. How soon we forget the positive reasons we are changing, our habits, right? And we start to either dwell on how good it used to be, which then makes us in turn think of how awful it is now. This is horrible. This is no fun. I don't like this. And we start awfulizing it. Or we start saying, boy, that was a better time back then. Wish I was back there. And these mind tricks cause us what? To fail, don't they? They cause us to relapse, to go back in our habit. One of the fastest ways to glamorize the past and forget the real reasons why we're pursuing our goal in the first place. The past wasn't that good, or you wouldn't be trying to change. And so you need to do this. You want to stay on the course. And so catch yourself. Have you been dwelling on how good it used to be? Or in turn, awfulizing how it is now because you have to make these changes? Put a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about doubting that I really need to drop the old habit or add a new one? Doubting the need to change behavior is common. That's why it's so important to know why you are changing habits. Think about your reasons. Know your why. Visualize how good it really is without the habit. Feel the satisfaction will come as your life is different because of the habit change. Recommit yourself to accomplishing the goal that you have to set out before you. And so ask yourself, when I slipped, was it because I doubted that I really need to do this? Or are you catching yourself doubting and almost slipping? Is it never, sometimes, occasionally, often, constantly? Be honest. How about thinking of giving up? While pursuing worthwhile goals, we have times when it gets difficult. Isn't that true? And we feel like quitting is common. Maybe you just slipped and you're beating yourself up, right? However, thinking about it doesn't mean you have to act on it. Even if you're feeling down, remember your goal is worthwhile. It's worth pursuing. And most of all, you're worth it. You're worth it. So ask yourself, how often am I doing that? How often am I doing that? Where I can go ahead and change this. And so on the top of 15, page 15, transfer, count it up, look at it, and put your numbers here. And you'll see this hanging around people, beating myself up, dwelling how good it used to be, doubting if I really need to drop, thinking. Take that, and if you want, make a copy of that or something and hang it up somewhere. And what you need to do is look at the ones that are threes. This should cause some concern. Ask yourself, what do you need to bring it down to a 1 or 2? Here again, remember why you want to quit. Keep that why in front of you. Picture it. Stay focused on your why. Consider the benefits. You've already received some benefits from staying with a habit. Consider some more. And then play the movie out to the end. Do you really want to be that person again? Do you really want to take on that habit again? If not, figure out how to get yourself to a 1 or a 2. And this may be where you need some help. And you can, get a sponsor. Go to a group. There's other people that have struggled this way. Take our course on the Habit Challenge. Get our book, The Habit Challenge. That will give you a lot of tips on what you can do. But there's things you can do that will help you. And then those scores of 4 or 5, that's the danger zone. And by all means, get support. Get some support. You're just a step away from failure there, and you don't want that. You've worked this hard. Continue to work hard by getting the help you need. Call someone, a sponsor, a friend, or family, or pastor, someone that you trust, and start getting the help you need. And then don't isolate. Boy, that's what we start doing. We're embarrassed, maybe we're filled with shame, whatever it is, but we start isolating, and isolating is just a kiss of death, right? It's just a kiss of death. You don't need that. Look at these things. Get the help you need. Again, take a look at our course that we offer on changing habits. We go into some other things that you can do that will help you. And then in our book, The Habit Challenge, we go over crushing if it becomes a craving to where it's just so hard to break. You need extra help. And we go into that in that book. And so I invite you to consider that. Other things you can do is attend a support group or use your spiritual resources. Call upon God. The 12 steps, the first 3 steps are all about admitting that I can't do it by myself. I needed that higher power. I need God to help me. Sometimes you need to change the channel. You need to just say, stop it, stop. And you need to just say, look, I can't do this no more. And you change the channel, right? You change your attitude. I don't want to think this way. And you distract yourself. You walk out of the room. Don't buy the lie. Ask yourself, what am I believing about myself when I'm doing this? If you think about it, you'll get an answer, and here's the truth, it's a lie. And that's some of the emotional things that trigger us. And in the book Habit Challenge, I spent a whole chapter there talking about emotional relearning. Emotional relearning and how we can relearn the truth about who we are and not buy these emotional lies that come out of our childhood. And like I said, you can get professional help too. And so we wanted to talk about triggers in this course. In changing your habits, it's important that you get a grip on the triggers. And so go through this again. If you need to, replay it. Fill out the little forms that we had in this PDF booklet if you didn't do it already. Look at them again. Make a plan. And you can start doing this. You can start overcoming the triggers today by changing the environment, changing the way you look, changing the things that you do at work and at home. You can do it. And so I encourage you, write me if you want, ron@empowerministry.org, and I can give you some more referrals and help. Take a look at our course that we're offering here on changing your habits. Consider getting our book, The Habit Challenge. And start today now. Start today. Don't put this off. Now that you've taken this course, get out there and start today. Do something today. Change something in your environment today that will help you overcome your triggers.